We're visiting with Richard Moberly, Dean of the University of Nebraska School of Law. I did want to have you help us parse that phrase that has been thrown around a lot in the past couple months, unfortunately, constitutional crisis. Some people are suggesting we're there.
Part of what's going on is the Trump administration is very forcefully putting forth this theory called the unitary executive, where all of the powers invested in Article 2 of the Constitution are in the single executive, and everyone in that branch is beholden to their orders and commands, including the Department of Justice. And one of the reasons that's so surprising to anyone who's been around in the last 50 years is that was kind of broken apart in the Nixon post-Watergate dilemma, right? Where, the FBI was used to investigate Americans and the Department of Justice was being used on behalf of the president to pursue criminal and other sanctions. And the consensus post all of that was the Department of Justice needed to have some measure of separation from the executive branch. It is really that sort of 50-year plus consensus that the Trump administration is pushing back on. Andrew Jackson's famous line of the Supreme Court's order, let them enforce it, right? Talking about moving Native Americans. There was that crisis. There's the crisis in the New York Times case and the Nixon case, U.S. v. Nixon, subpoenaing the records and the recordings from the Nixon tapes. And he eventually backed down. But, it's interesting to note he backed down when Republicans came to him and said that they were going to vote for impeachment if he didn't resign.
Correct.
If you do the reading on this, there are a lot of people in that White House who were really frustrated that he backed down. And some of those same people have been the through line through this entire process for the last 50 years of creating this idea of this unitary executive. Are we at a constitutional crisis if he refuses to comply with a court order? I think there is a constitutional remedy for that. There's only one, and that's impeachment. Whether that's viable or not, and whether the Congress has the political will to do that or not, that's another question. But it becomes at that point a political question as opposed to a legal question, quote unquote.